Your feelings will change. Some days you're going to feel strong, some days you're going to feel broken, but God never changes. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians 5:7, "For we walk by faith and not by sight." And sometimes you could add, not by feelings either. So when your emotions tell you, give up, choose faith, because on the other side of faith is everything God promised. Good morning, beautiful people. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Um, if you guys haven't already, but like my stuff, consider checking out my channel or even checking out my bio. I have all my other links for all my social medias. And also, there is a Buy Me a Coffee app. If you want to donate, that is all up to you. But if you do, I will make a video. So put me a little message there. All right, let's get right into it. All right, perfect. So let's get started. Have you ever felt like giving up? Like God is silent? Like your prayers aren't working? Your feelings might be telling you, God has forgotten about me. But the truth is, most people never talk about it. Feelings change, God doesn't. If you let your feelings control your faith, you might walk away right before God moves in your life. Today, we're talking about why faith must be stronger than your feelings. That is very self explanatory. When we let our feelings take over, we avoid what God is trying to do in our life. You want to know how I know how? Because every time that I was in my feelings, it was because I was frustrated. I was frustrated that I felt like God wasn't helping me in the way that I deserved, right? But contrary to belief, what I was really doing was making an excuse about why I couldn't trust God. And who am I to say that I can't trust the Almighty, right? We go through these patterns sometimes because we've been hurt in our life. So we don't want to let anyone in. And after going through that for years and years and years, it's hard to just trust anyone or anything. I can tell you that when I finally started being patient and trusting my faith, that's when things started changing. And if you at least give it a try, it can't hurt. There's going to be a number of things that you go through in this life. But the biggest thing that I've learned that you have to do is be patient. I would love to get it right now at this minute and be happy about it, but I can't. You know why? Because God is still working in me, and whenever He's working in me, He's doing something bigger and better. As long as I have faith, I will be able to hold out. I will be able to withstand what's going on right now. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Your faith over your feelings, and why your faith is always going to be better than your feelings, and why this is going to make you better than just good. All right, so the first bullet point for today is going to be feelings are temporary. Feelings are powerful, but they're also unstable. One day you feel strong, the next day you feel discouraged. If your faith depends on how you feel, your walk with God will always be like a roller coaster, just going up and down, up and down, up and down, right? Faith isn't built on emotion, it's built on trusting God when nothing makes sense. Myself, I love roller coasters. I love that thrill of getting on there and just feeling that drop. I mean, a lot of people do. That's why they have roller coasters, right? But if you continue to use your feelings over your faith, you're going to feel like that every single day. I know how it feels to not be able to just be okay sometimes. But when you keep your faith alive and you're deciding that you're going to have the patience to wait it out and that you're going to have the patience to trust God, that's what things change. It may sound cliche, it may sound like, oh, well, he's been through it already, so he already knows. Well, I'm telling you, it works. Just like when we tell you that the Bible works, it's because it really does. The Bible's like a handbook to help you have a good life. I mean, what else can you say? It was also the story of Jesus and what God has done to this world and for us. So if the Bible works, why can't your faith work? Continuing where I had left off, I used to be a person that used manipulation as a way to get someone back. And when you use manipulation, you are controlling someone else's feelings on how they feel about you and how they feel about everything or how they see the world. You're manipulating someone. So when I tell you that God has changed my life, I really mean it. He is not going to manipulate you. He's not going to make you feel bad. He's not going to make you feel like you are not okay. He loves you the way that a father should love their child. No matter what you do, he's always going to come back to you. But you also need to understand that you have to trust him. It's just like when I tell my kids, don't jump on the sofa, you're going to get hurt. And then they get hurt because they were jumping on the sofa. That kind of love is the kind of love that I would want. And that's the kind of love that God gives you. But you got to trust him. You got to trust that what he is doing is for the better, not for the good. In Spanish, it's ¿le quieres ahorita? ¿Cómo está? O ¿le quieres a lo mejor? And my wife used to always tell me, do you want what is good right now for you, or do you want what is better and that is meant for you? As long as you trust God, things will work out. But you got to be able to trust to be able to keep going. All right, now the second bullet point for today is going to be faith means trusting God even when you can't see it. The Bible says in Hebrews 11:1, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith isn't believing when everything feels good. Faith is believing when everything feels uncertain. It says, God, I don't understand what you're doing, but I still trust you. You know how hard it must be to be able to trust something that you can't see? But the old saying is, you don't know how the wind works. You can't see it, but you know it's still there, right? And we just don't know how it works. We just don't know how it works. But we trust that it is going to push our sails. We trust that it is going to move our turbines. We trust that it's going to be there when we need it. It may sound redundant, it may sound like a fairy tale, but sometimes in life you need a little bit of magic, right? You can't tell me that what you're feeling right now isn't meant of God. Because if it was, then you wouldn't be here. Certain things happen because you're being taken care of. Have you ever been driving and all of a sudden you were supposed to be at a certain place at a certain time, but you just were delayed? And now you get to that spot and there's an accident? That's how life is. Someone is watching over you. Who do you think is watching over you? The person who created you. The person who, the being who created everything. If you weren't meant to be here, I honestly believe that you wouldn't. You know why? Because God has a purpose. He has a purpose for everyone at a certain time, at a certain thing. And yes, there is evil in the world that we can't control, but God is the Almighty. And when you start just having a little bit of faith, you start seeing the biggest change. All right, continuing where I had left off. It's easy to say that you believe just because you've been through it. And they say, well, he's a Christian. Of course, his life is easy. If anyone has ever told you that, they haven't been a Christian for a long time. There's nothing about being a Christian that is easy. There's nothing about trusting God that is easy. And I can attest to that over and over and over. I know that when it comes to your faith, there's always going to be something that is blocking you or something that makes you feel like you are not okay. This world is not set up for us. This world is not set up for us to be happy 100% of the time. That is us as being human that we need to be okay with. And when we're okay with it, we start understanding that there's things in this world that are meant to take care of you, that are meant to hold you down. And if you have a strong foundation in Christ, you are going to always go back to Him when there's something that's wrong. But when you have a strong foundation in yourself, that's when you let your feelings take over. That's when you let things that are not of this world, that are not of God, take over. And what's the point of having all of this in the world if all you do is go back to your feelings every single time something's not okay? Why not have a strong foundation in Christ where you have your faith, where you have your trust, where you have someone who's actually going to listen and not feel like you're being manipulated? I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. You've tried everything else in the world, so why not try something that actually made the world? All right. We are in the third bullet point for today. Almost done here. Your feelings don't define God's presence. Just because you feel alone doesn't mean God's left. Just because you feel weak doesn't mean God isn't working. Sometimes God is doing His greatest work in the season where we feel the least. Faith means remembering God is present even when emotions say otherwise. It may be easier said than done, but God hasn't left you just because your feelings are taken over. On contrary, your feelings are valid. Your feelings are something that makes you human. Your feelings are going to be something that you're going to understand, because if you don't understand your feelings, then you don't understand what it means to be human, what it means to have a soul, what it means to represent yourself. You grew from something that was nothing. You grew from the pain that you had. You grew from the unworthiness that you grew up with. I mean, you have to remember, everyone has a starting point. No one, we're born into sin. We're born in a sinful world. We have sin all around us. And just because we have it doesn't mean that we should follow it, but it doesn't also disqualify you from God's love. God's love is always going to be there, regardless whether you want it or not. But He's also not going to force it on you. If you don't want to be with Him, you don't have to. I can tell you how it is to be with Him and how it is to be without Him. My life is better with Him. And this is just my testimony, but everyone's going to be different. You can decide how you want to do your life. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I always say try at least everything once. Try therapy, try medication, try drinking. I mean, not in that way, but you know what I mean. If you've already tried it, you're already at this point where you need something else. So just remember that. All right, beautiful people. So we are at the end of the video for today. And of course, if you guys haven't already, consider checking out my channel. Check out all my links. I mean, honestly, we're trying to build a community together. And like I've said it before in Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron. That means that we are supposed to, as Christians, as humans, as brothers and sisters, we are supposed to be helping each other. That's what it means to have your faith high. That is what it means to not be okay. That's what it means to help each other make heaven crowded. So we're gonna be finishing up here today. Your feelings will change. Some days you're gonna feel strong. Some days you're gonna feel broken. But God never changes. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians 5:7, "For we walk by faith and not by sight." And sometimes you could add, not by feelings either. So when your emotions tell you, give up, choose faith, because on the other side of faith is everything God promised. If it were me, I would make you feel, if it was the old me, I would make you feel like what you're doing is not right. I would manipulate your emotions to a certain extent. I know it's not right, but I would still do it. And I'm not like that anymore. If you want to trust God, trust God. If you don't. But at the end of the day, your feelings, yes, are valid. But when you keep living off your feelings, you're never going to find the true love. You're never going to be able to move on. You're never going to be able to let go. You're never going to have patience. You're never going to feel what you need to feel. A lot of people go through a lot of different stuff, a lot of different substances, a lot of thoughts, a lot of drinking, but they continue it their whole life. And where do you see them? If you could start changing things in your life right now for the better, wouldn't you want to? If you could be the example for someone now so that way they can change something that's in their life, wouldn't you want to? Why not try it at least? It doesn't hurt to just give a little bit more faith, give a little bit more feeling. Your love for God will be there, and His love for you will always be there for eternity. Just because you love someone now doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever. But the ways that you feel are always going to be different than how God feels for you, because He will always love you no matter what you've done. I can attest to it. And if I say anything today, it's just give it a shot, give it a try. If you take anything away from this video, it's just trying it. That's going to be the end of this video for today. I do hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you guys again on Friday. God bless you guys. See you next time.